Hi, I'm Tyler.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Decker.
And we're going to be doing some problems about supply and demand. And keep in mind that our notation and language might be a little different than your professor, your assignment. So keep that in mind and check with them just to make sure everything's good for your assignment. Alright, so here we have a market for computers. And it says that a technological improvement takes place in the computer industry. So what happens? So an improvement in technology means that the firms can produce more computers for the same price. So what happens is supply increases. And so what does that do to price and quantity? So it used to be here. And then we moved to this point. So you can see that the equilibrium quantity goes up and the equilibrium price goes down. So here we have the market for coffee, and it says that there's a freeze in Peru. So what does that happen? It means the coffee plants froze and there's just less coffee in Peru. So that is a decrease in supply. And just remember that a decrease in a curve goes to the left and an increase goes to the right. It can get confusing when you think about up and down because they're opposite for supply and demand. But anyways, supply decreases and it goes to the left. So what does this mean for quantity and price? So we were here, and then we moved to here. So you can see that price goes up and quantity goes down. So here we have the market for butter, and there's a new federal law that makes them have to change their labeling. So all the butter that they have to relabel it, and what this does is it increases their cost of production, which will decrease supply. Moving it to the left. And so what does this mean for quantity and price? So we were here, and then we moved to here. So quantity goes down and price goes up.
So the problem states, assume there's a decrease in chickens due to an E. coli outbreak and people's taste for chickens decrease. What can we predict will happen? So since we're not giving the exact numbers, we have to draw two different graphs and they'll have two different possible outcomes for each one. Well, for the first one, we're going to have a major drop in supply, shown here, and then just a little decrease in demand. Say they tough it out and they're not, going crazy over the E. coli. So we would have our new equilibrium at demand 2 and S2, or supply 2. And that would give us our new price. We would have a new price at P2 and also a new quantity being sold at Q2. So for this first example, we've noticed that the price has gone up and the quantity has gone down. All right, now we're going to take a look at the next graph and say the supply line, it decreases, but it's not as substantial as the first market. So we have S2. Well, then let's say we have people that really do care about their health and their demand for chicken is almost non-existent, so it takes a huge decrease in demand. And now our new equilibrium is going to be at S2D2, which is this right here, and that's going to be P2, and the quantity is going to be Q2. So from this one on the right-hand side, we've determined that the price is going down and the quantity is also going down. So what we can conclude from both of these graphs is that quantity is going down. But we do not know what happens to price because it depends on which one shifts more. So P is a question mark because we don't know.
Alright, so hopefully you understand supply and demand a little better. If not, you can always come to the Econ Tutoring Center at BA 211.